Part 2. Silver Snow. Heartstring Moon. The Impregnable Fortress. After seizing the Great Bridge of Burden, the Resistance Army starts making preparations to invade Imperial territory when a surprising piece of information comes to light.
Well, that was brief.
Mm-hmm. His last one was brief, too.
Uh-huh. Part something. This moon. Things happened. The end.
Emergency! In Gronder Field!
We are in the middle of a military conference. Please, calm yourself and tell us what is the matter.
Yes, sir. It seems the Kingdom and Alliance armies clashed with Imperial forces on Gronder Field. Amid the chaos of three armies battling each other out there, the Imperial army was routed. Edelgard sustained heavy wounds and retreated to Enbar.
Well then, I suppose.
Sir, the Kingdom army was also decimated, and His Highness Dimitri has been counted among the dead.
What?
The Alliance sustained heavy casualties as well, and the whereabouts of their leader, Claude, is currently unknown.
Unknown? It must have been a brutal fight. To have lost His Highness. How tragic. Our only solace is that Edelgard sustained severe injuries. This is all quite unexpected, but we must find a way to use this situation to our advantage. The Empire's main force has suffered a mighty blow. Edelgard will most certainly avoid the front lines. Now is the time for us to infiltrate the Empire and aim for the capital.
But what will happen to the Lords of the Old Kingdom and Alliance territories?
They have lost many leaders and soldiers. I am sure they must be hard at work rebuilding. We will foster cooperation by aiding them through the local churches. The remaining Lords of the Kingdom and Alliance must join together to form one union. And you should be the one to lead them. What do you say? Indeed, it is a question for another day. We must focus on our battle with the Empire. For now, what is our next course of action? We must choose a place within the Empire that will give us solid defenses for our front line. That will become the foothold for our invasion of the capital. There is one massive fortress that boasts the greatest defenses in the Empire, Fort Mercius. But we will stand no chance if we attack by traditional means. We must gather everyone and devise a plan of attack.
It has been a lifetime, hasn't it, Professor? Yes, I thought so too. I wanted to slice her throat, but I did not get the chance. I let people die, and yet I still stand. Rodrigue, Gustav, Dedu. You sound just like Rodrigue. A reason. Everyone gives such complicated advice, and I can never quite grasp it all. That is why, Professor, I came here to explain my decision. I have no resources to take back the kingdom capital, much less to defeat the Empire, and that is why...
Professor, you will catch a cold sleeping in a place like this. Is something the matter? I am the only one here. Were you dreaming? I can't say for certain that you were dreaming, but if someone did come here to see you, that person only wanted you to see their face. Perhaps they wanted you to guide them.
Well, things definitely have got weird.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about, like, oh, Dimitri's alive. Oh, Dimitri's dead. Hey, here's Dimitri.
But is he alive or is he dead? You don't know. On that particular weird and questionable note, hey everyone, welcome back to Fire Emblem Three Houses Black Eagle Silver Snow Edition. In the last episode, we got the Bridge of Murden under our control and briefly had a brief reunion with, well, Gustav. But again, very brief, and now it's led to a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And I think we'll be talking over it. We will be discussing it as we go through our normal day.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get on with it and let's just explore, talk, and let's see what everyone has to say. Because, man, I have a lot of freaking questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not a lot of answers, but I do have many thoughts, though. So, let's get to it, and let's get it on. Do you want to take the helm first? Okay. Well, for starters, I agree with you. It's like a roller coaster. Like, is he dead? Is he alive? I don't know. For me, and this is all like circumstantial, my thoughts so far, because again, this is a blind playthrough. We don't have the story is going to play out from this point on, so I'll hold my final judgments, but I'll talk about, well, my feelings so far. Sorry if being a little bit redundant. Honestly, as of right now, I kind of would prefer it if it just left it at, grand battle at Gronder Field. Everyone died.
Mm-hmm.
Because that kind of incentivized the feeling of, you know, it works both ways actually. If you played the blue line route before this or after it, it works both ways, because if you haven't played it yet, you think, I wonder if I was there, would I have been able to make a difference? Or if you had played it, you're like, oh my god, what happened in that particular moment? It was because I was there, and because I wasn't there, you know, Dimitri died and all that jazz. I don't know, so it works both ways. But yeah, this whole back and forth of like, he's dead, he's alive, he's dead, he's alive. It's like, the more you toy with my emotions game, the less returns you're gonna get. Because that's pretty much the rule of diminishing returns. The more you do something, the less effect it's gonna have later on. The more times, more times you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, for me, I'm kind of glad it's done this, because for now it makes me feel like we're not going to go to the kingdom stage, the kingdom fight, so to speak. And for me, I'm happy about that, because I will admit that is one of my, at least in this particular stage of the plot or to whatnot, I'm not a big fan of that map. I feel like it's too I feel like it's too overly drawn out, and well, it's just a time sink.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I think we knew ahead of time that things were going to be slightly different, because the bridge of Murden, brief spoilers. If you're playing the blue line route, that's when the do actually makes a comeback if you do things in a particular order. So that's one of the reasons why I thought we were gonna be getting a bit more reinforcements, because I was expecting, hey, either Dudu or both Dimitri and Dudu were gonna come back. Obviously not the case. So everything that we know about the game at this point on the plot, it's gonna be slightly different, because we have had no idea on what Dimitri and Claude have been doing in this particular time. And again, it shows Dimitri's dead, or is he? We don't know. And I'm gonna make a slight, and I mean a slight, guess here. I do not think Dimitri is dead. Simply because we have killed and we have seen people pass throughout this game for quite some time, whether it's our dad or other enemies in which we've killed, or Rhea, for example. You know, we haven't seen their phantoms, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine they'll do it just for Dimitri. I know he's one of the main pillars of this game, but nah, I don't think they'll do that magical hocus pocus thing, at least for Dimitri. Because I'd like to think intelligence systems are, well, intelligent, so they wouldn't do that. But again, I could be wrong. This is all speculative and hypothetical, so again, I look forward to it. I will say it definitely wakes you up from the plots at this point in time.
Yeah.
Because that's been one of the main complaints about this particular playthrough, is about how it's been a little bit samey.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I've been kind of iffy on coming back to recording. It's like, we're just gonna go through the same beats again. And
you know what? I'm really glad that it's not like literally point for point the exact same. It's like, yeah, sure, we go against Edelgard. That means Dimitri and Dudu, they automatically come back and we're railroaded right back to the point in which we were in the Blue Lions Let's Play. I'm really glad it didn't do that. So you know what? I'm glad. But yep, it definitely wakes you up from the repetitive doldrums. So I'm looking forward to how things are going to play out past this point. Sarah, you can go screw yourself, because no one likes you. Stay in the corner where you belong. Anyway, though, that's my thoughts. What are yours?
I do find it kind of weird how Gilbert, there was just all back and forth between Gilbert, like it gave you the illusion of choice. Like, it would have been kind of fun to storm the capital with Dimitri, but then instead it was like, no, let's not do that.
Yeah, I'm going to assume it's their way of saying it's not going to be like the Blue Lions Let's Play, because I feel like that'd be slightly ruining the appeal and uniqueness of the Blue Lions Let's Play. But even then, if that's the case of them not wanting to weaken the plot of or the premise, why do they make the intros of all of the stories the exact same? Like before the time skip, you know, it's the exact same. Nothing ever changed. Just, hey, we talked to Edelgard instead of Dimitri. And again, I don't know this, but I'm going to assume in the Golden Deer it's gonna be the exact same way. We're gonna go through do the same starting missions before the time skip, and then that's when it all changes. And I'll stand by it. I don't like it.
Professor?
At least have unique stories for all three houses. Because in some ways they've done it before, because they've done the same thing with Fire Emblem Fates, having two families and therefore completely different starting points and completely different quests. So who knows? Oh no, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. So please let us know if this particular point in the game you felt the exact same way. Is there anything else you're gonna say? No, so I think we'll just go around the monastery, see the highlights, see whatever everyone has to say, and then let's go for it.
So, you see, Professor, laying siege to a keep is like asking a girl out on a date. First, you get past her defenses, then you make your move.
I know the answer you want, but is it in good taste?
I knew you'd get it, Professor. Anyway, you know more about tactics than me, so I don't know why I'm offering you advice.
No, I feel like you're feeding me pickup lines. Pickup lines in which I will immediately throw in the fire. And ask Ingrid to kick you in the nuts. Just to give you a bit of a wake-up call and snap back to reality. But hey-ho, what do I know? I mean, I can't say anything, I've got a wife, so Sylvain, screw you.
I only know what little I overheard. But what I did hear implied that the Empire was involved in the tragedy of Duscur. If it's true, that may explain why His Highness chose to fight the Empire. Perhaps I should have fought alongside His Highness. Because I too lost someone to that tragedy. The most important person in my world. Those of us still on this plane of existence will carry the torch. The inhumane actions of the Empire must not be repeated.
Ingrid, you're breaking my heart here.
I never used to care whether I lived or died. But when I think of all those who died at Gronder, I realize how precious life truly is. I'm ashamed of how arrogant I was to think that death could mean so little.
Man, with Dimitri dying, everyone's getting somber.
Yeah, and existential.
It's like, what's it like to live or die?
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Is it true that we'll be assaulting Fort Mercius next? That doesn't sound like the brightest idea. I've heard that it's built to withstand an attack from even the largest of armies. And not to tell you how to do your job, but don't do it. I'm not ready to say my final goodbyes to everyone.
Oh, you'll be fine. We'll meet in another life. AKA another playthrough.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to spout memes all you want.
You're quite a tactician. Disguising ourselves as enemy soldiers to sneak in undetected. A stroke of brilliance. In a frontal attack, our losses would be tremendous. With this strategy, we can really snatch victory from the jaws of deceit. Yes, with you leading our fighters, I've no doubt the Empire will suffer an embarrassing deceit. Get it? Deceit again?
Is that slight spoilers?
I don't know.
Because, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think we've discussed a plan of attack, so to speak.
It's always so peaceful coming back here. But it's hard to relax knowing we have to go out on another expedition again so soon. And assaulting that huge keep. That sounds hard. Oh, really hard. Don't you think it'll be hard? Of course you'd say that. Why'd I even ask?
I was just being honest. Okay, fine, screw me.
It hasn't sunk in yet. They slaughtered the boar. I can hardly believe it. I thought he was alive all this time. He must have really hated Edelgard to lead such an ill-advised assault. No point in feeling sorry for the poor scoundrel now.
Even though he was my friend.
Fort Mercius is old and strong. Its reputation for durability is equal to that of Aryan Road. Are you certain your plan is sufficient? It seems to be a little simplistic. I suppose I must take you at your word, mustn't I? Incidentally, have you heard any news of Claude? I, for one, have a hard time believing he is dead. He was always a clever and tenacious sort.
Also, Lorenz, you're goddamn right. Yeah, you're goddamn right. You'll take my word for it because I let you live.
Uh-huh.
To think otherwise, well, let's just say I hold the sword of Damocles in my hand over you.
Possible. Professor, they tell me my father died at Gronder. Was that really a fitting end for one such as him? I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, the more I hear these pieces of dialogue, the more I get the feeling the Blue Lions playthrough is kind of like the best ending you could get.
Yeah.
At least again on first glance.
Under your leadership, we can win any battle, no matter the odds. That's what everyone's saying, anyway. Hope you can keep up with our expectations, Professor.
I mean, to be fair, I can't really tell Annette. Oh, Annette, get over it. My father died and I feel fine. Jesus.
I have excitement in my heart for secret tactics. I enjoy attacks that are surprising. Yes, hunting is doing surprise attacks on prey. Surprise attacks are safe with friends. Fewer injuries.
Like those cats.
You know when you work your muscles and they start screaming? That means you gotta be nice to them. If your muscles are hungry, you gotta feed them. And let them rest when they're tired. Of course. If my muscles hurt, then I hurt. If they're hungry, well then I'm hungry too. What's with the confused face, Professor? You look like you don't get a word I'm saying.
No, I'm just amazed how in this particular point in the game you want to talk as tactless as that.
I've heard the dues passed on, just like His Highness. That's true.
What?
I did hear that his body was never found. If somehow he's still alive, I hope we'll meet again.
I thought the insensitive response. Huh? The dude's dead? Who's that guy? The do who? Ah yes, let us pray for everyone who has passed.
Oh Goddess, hear my prayer. Please bless the deceased with peace everlasting, and may his soul rest in tranquility. You know, I used to see him praying quite often when I would come to the cathedral at night. I wonder who it was he prayed for back then.
If only you could find out in paralogs. Or maybe heart to hearts. Or sport conversations which you can't get now because he's dead.
Professor, I heard that a staggering number of people lost their lives in the battle at Gronder. And here we are, preparing for the next battle as if nothing happened the day before. It's almost easier to think about war as theater, with the stage an entire continent. Something like that. If an accident happens on stage, the next day's performance must be unaffected. Everyone just pretends like everything is fine, focusing on their role in the play.
I like how we're having a deep conversation and that woman's like, nope, oh, just back out of this one.
Caspa. Don't worry about me. I've got a stomach of steel. Professor knows what I'm talking about.
Also, why is Cat? Did you see Ash's face?
Yeah.
Ash, I know Dimitri's death is a shock to all of us, but you gotta close that mouth at some point. He's like constantly bloody surprised.
They both said, I'd rather eat alone.
Yeah. It's like, thanks, buddy. Thanks, guys. Well, anyway, guys, that's been our fortunate highlights of this particular month in the monastery. I say month when it's only the first week, but you get the point. We are just going to be going over some things in the month, and hopefully taking on some paralogs. Because honestly, I'm looking forward to it. But for now, let's end things off with a couple of supports, and then we'll take things from there.
There's a lot of support.
And we've got a lot of friends to make who need time to themselves.
Dorothea, you look as if something's terribly wrong.
I do? Oh, nothing's wrong. Not really. I've just been thinking about the future. And what happens when the war is over.
And tell me, what is your vision of the future like?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. I guess I don't know what to expect. In my life, I've met all sorts of people who've lived lots of different ways. So now I'm trying to figure out how I want to live. I'm free, unlike so many people. I have the ability to take control of my own fate. Like you.
Well, I quit the opera to join the Officers' Academy as a professor. Then I joined this war because, well, I don't know. I'm hoping for an end to it. Peace for the world. Even though I took control of my own fate, I still haven't found the man of my dreams.
You'll find him. He's out there somewhere. You know, there is one thing I want for the future.
So, you've got a dream after all.
Well, it's a dream I've always had. You'll think this is silly, but I'd like to stand beside you.
I don't get it.
When you left the opera company, I took your place. I stood center stage and sang, and everyone cheered for me. I wish the cheers were for me and you. I wish we stood on that stage together.
I have to tell you something. The first time I saw you on stage, I felt you were the one I wanted to hear sing. I already had plans to leave the opera company, but when I met you, I knew I couldn't leave until I saw you take your rightful place. You're right, though. It would have been nice to stand beside you on stage, even just once.
Maybe we weren't together then, but we're together here, now. And in the future, maybe it won't be so bad if you never find that man of your dreams.
What do you mean by that?
You and me. I won't find a guy either. We can just be together. I think that'd be pretty nice, don't you? Living together and doing whatever we want.
Huh. You know, that could be nice. It'd be like you and me, finally together on stage. The lights shining down, our gowns and jewels sparkling. Just us.
Sparkling in the stage lights forever.
That's actually kind of sweet.
Yeah.
I like it.
I've looked everywhere. I guess Sylvain must still have it. Huh? When did this book get here? Wait, this is mine. And there's something sticking out of it. A letter? Dear author, I read your manuscript quite by accident and duly apologize. However, I also write today to inform you that I enjoyed your story tremendously. I laughed and cried as the heroine overcame her many obstacles, growing stronger with each step. Your literary style presents a unique perspective. I could sense you watching over the protagonist. Wow, so many compliments, and so much attention to detail. The girl's failures are as compelling as her triumphs, since authors are told to write what they know. I believe your tale would not have been so convincing were it not for your own experiences. What? My own experiences? That's a weird way to give praise. Who wrote this anyway? Who would read my story so carefully and then write this long letter to tell me about it? Whoever it is, they must be wonderful. Someone like my dear old uncle. I do hope my letter inspires you to keep writing. Looking forward to the next chapter. Your devoted fan, Sylvain. What? Sylvain? It can't be!
Hey, Bernadetta. Did you read my letter?
How long have you been standing there?
I'm sorry, but I fell head over heels for your story. It's so good, and I just had to tell you about it. So, what do you say? Will you write more? Why don't we talk literature over some tea?
Oh, I see your plan now. You're out to humiliate me. Very clever, but I'm not falling for it.
Well, I tried. Well guys, that's going to be it for now. We will return to these supports as time goes on, and we will get around to all of them. Maybe not in this particular playthrough, but want to make sure that we get every single one unlocked. But until then guys, that is going to be it for this episode. We will see you back when we do a paralogue, which is the only one of this month. So, until then, I've been Lightning.
I'm Alice.
And this has been Fire Emblem Three Houses, What the Hell's Going On edition. About time this thing came up. Been wondering when we throw a curveball our way. But I guess that's something to look forward to next time. So, till then, if you like this video, be sure to like it. If you didn't like it, well then, please tell us what the hell is going on. We would really appreciate it. But if you want to subscribe to see more content, then please be sure to subscribe, and if you want to follow us on our socials like Twitter or Twitch, we'd love to see you there. But until then guys, we'll see you next time.